What's up, guys? It's Tattman Ceez. Sitting next to me is a good friend of mine, curator, designer, musician, artist, everything rolled in one. M4, say what up to YouTube.
YouTube was good, y'all. We out here about to teach you a couple things today.
All right, so gave you the introduction. I said that you do just about everything. Explain to the viewers exactly like what some of those things are.
So I've been an artist for like most of my life. I've always been a graphic artist. I became a graphic designer in college, and I also became a tattoo artist. Ceez put me on the tatting, feel me?
I don't know if I put you on the tatting. You might have put me on it somehow, one way or another. We went to college together, and we started our tattoo career around the exact same time. You went to school for graphic design though, and you said that transitioned kind of into you doing tattoos, and how did that start?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of the work was the same kind of thing. For example, I would have people coming in for logos and flyers, and it would be a combination of their ideas, where I would have to put all those elements together to create, whether it's a logo or flyer or whatever the medium would be.
Right.
But with tattooing, it's the same thing. You have someone come up to you like, yo, my mom died on this day and she loved birds and the color purple, and now I have to create a piece of artwork based off of those elements and those circumstances. For me, I think it was more so my drawing style. Because even before I thought about tattooing, people would always come to me my whole life like, yo, can you draw this tattoo for me? I went to my artist, but he can't really get it in a way I'd like. And I started drawing a lot of custom tats for people. I would be sitting in a double period class, and I would take a pen, and every single day I would sleeve my arm up. Like, it got to a point where people would come to me like, yo, Ralph, can you
actually very
light up my arm, bro? You feel me? And my English teacher was like, bro, instead of like giving yourself ink poisoning every day, why don't you just think about taking this as a career path?
Right.
And that's the first thing that really put it in my head.
Put it in your mind, right?
Mm-hmm. That was one of the fastest ways to monetize my art. I was doing a lot of paintings that I would have in galleries that would hang there for months, bro, like sometimes years. That can be like a crushing thing if you're an artist that's trying to start.
Nah, yeah, it's definitely tough. It's tough.
I feel like a lot of people will throw mad effort into one kind of thing when like those same skills that you learned could have helped you in a lot of other ways. For example, like I was an art director at a camp, and like I've learned mad different mediums of art just throughout the years in art school. But I was able to manage all of these teachers because I had a little bit of knowledge of all of those things.
Like a jack of all trades.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Sometimes, instead of throwing all your energy into one thing, maybe like 2 to 3 things, sometimes it makes the path easier. Things aimed at the same thing.
So speaking of doing a few different things aimed at the same thing, you know, you mentioned you do graphic design, you do tattoos, but as far as music goes, that seems like it's a little off as far as art. How do you tie music and art together?
Well, I feel like you literally cannot put out music without art. You can put out an album cover with just your name and the title.
Right.
That's gonna be considered as a statement.
It's not right. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that might even be art.
Exactly. Now, so like everything will be perceived as that anyway. So I feel like those shits are linked at the hip. You can't have one without the other. And more things, like how many art shows that you go that are jazz shows that have music that's curated to that? Or like there'll be a certain kind of art and the music will be laid back, some lo-fi shit. You feel me? Like it's more of a mood thing. I could set up a bunch of paintings and I could play a certain kind of music in a room, and you're gonna get that feeling just from that environment. That's why I'm at art galleries. You'll go in and there'll be like some faint ass jazz music playing, and it's not to put on the artist or anything, but it's to set that atmosphere.
You're saying like you can go to a place and prepare to hear jazz music, and there'll be art, you know, and even the lighting and the mood is set to prepare you for the music. And from my perspective, you know, when I'm doing tattoos or if I'm painting or any type of art, the music that I'm playing provides the mood for the art. So it's kind of like it's like back and forth, you know, it can go either way.
That's why I mean they tied at the hip.
Right. So as far as music goes, what are some of your projects you're doing in music?
So right now, me and my boy ORG Mass, we're about to drop an album within the next 2 months.
Shout out to ORG Mass, by the way.
Yeah, check out that video. We just premiered his video last night. It's called 1-2 Step. You can find that everywhere right now, on every platform. We got the video on YouTube. Definitely check that out.
I actually used ORG Mass, one of his tracks in one of my other videos. You can probably see the link. I'll put the link in the description to this video right now. You can check that out. It's one of the art shows actually or not an art show, one of the marketplaces that you put together. I believe it was the March Madness.
Yeah.
I did the live DMX painting there, and I used ORG Mask because I always run into him at your events. I asked him because I'm a big fan of his music. I asked him to provide the music for that video, and that's the same thing. Like I felt like he sent me a bunch of songs. I listened to a few of them, and I felt like I picked the one that would go the best with the vibe that was created, not only from the painting I was doing, but like the visuals of the video that was put together. So like, it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship. Art and music, they kind of feed off of each other and help each other grow.
I feel like, especially now in this age, I feel like back in, even before, when people were very interested in fine art, even like some medieval time shit, there was always like a motherfucker there with a violin or something. You feel me? While all these rich patrons would be in the room admiring the art, there was always somebody there setting the atmosphere. Lately, like, I've always made beats from like the way I feel. If I'm in a certain mood, I will try and capture that. Like, same way how if you don't know what you're about to paint, you feel me? You'll put something on the canvas that'll feel like at least the colors that you feel like. I feel like when I'm making beats, it's the same way. If I'm feeling like a little anxious or something, that might come out through my hi-hats. I might use something that's a little more, has more movement. That kind of thing now has been different for me because I have people that'll hit me up like, yo, bro, I need a beat that sounds like this Pop Smoke beat. And it's something that's not usually what I would make.
Right.
But like, since I've been trying to chase that sound, it's been like mad easy.
Right. Do you think that comes from like just experience in making beats and like trying different things?
Definitely. I think it comes more from the process.
The process.
Of doing it over and over. Once I have that reference, it's like so much easier to work with. Like if someone sends me a beat like, yo, I want something that's like this, like around this BPM, this kind of feeling, it's so much easier than if you explained it to me, like just here. Like, you feel me? Like even if you were using references, like just having something concrete is much more easier to replicate.
Right. It works the same way with art. Like,
yeah,
I can make up a woman's face, for example, but if I had like a portrait or a picture of a woman's face, it's easier to capture the emotion that person was making in that moment,
exactly.
As opposed to my mind, where my mind is too open and I'm not really thinking about one specific emotion. So I'm putting general or more like open emotions in the face, probably similar to music. If you didn't have that specific sound to emulate or to copy, you probably would not be so, honed in on the sound.
You have a target to shoot for. It's like, it's much easier than just creating like out of the blue.
Where would you say you draw your most of your influence, like as far as art and music?
I'll say from the stuff that's happening around me. I like curate a lot of events, and I'm involved in like a heavy community of musicians like in Brooklyn. And like I feel like that, bouncing off all of those different things, I might go to one show and it's like a rave show and all of their music is like some rap rock shit. And I might hear an element in that I like. Like, I really like how distorted those drums are. Right. But I don't like these guitars on top of it. So I'll mix it with some R&B shit and it'll sound fire because of the clash in textures.
Right.
So I feel like I could pull from a lot of different things that I literally see. Like, I was literally in a beat battle last night, hearing mad beats from different producers. And like, I won in the same kind of way. Everybody was playing one type of beat, and I was the only one to have variety, and that's what made the difference.
Variety is like one of the main things that I look for when it comes to art. Like, I try to incorporate things that normally might not go together, or styles or mediums, different mediums on one canvas that might not go together, just to make it a little more interesting, like, and to draw, like you said, if you're feeling a certain type of music, a certain sound over here, and then like maybe a certain sound over here, and you put it together, that not only helps create a new sound, but it'll draw the fans or people people from both sides and bring them together and create a whole new culture.
I feel like that's how both music and art have been evolving forever. It's just a mix of styles, and that's everything. It's just techniques. The best master swordsman in the world maybe might have been doing it the same way, but whatever foundation that came from, that nigga might have stole 5 different tricks, and that's how he mastered the technique. You're never gonna get it all from yourself, even if you're the most innately talented person in the world.
With that being said, who do you think you draw most of your inspiration from, or who are you like channeling when you create?
I've always had a thing for like comic book writers. I always found them way more talented. I always appreciated that more because you can convey a story, I feel like, through that. I think it's more like forms of art than it is people. I might be inspired by an anime voice actor because of how much conviction he has during this scene. Exuding a certain emotion. It's more like what he did to apply that kind of thing. But I feel like with that, with the creative side, there's certain kind of fields I look at and I'm like, damn, that was really cool how he uses these different things. I curate all of these art shows, and like every show has a different theme, and that's kind of like where I do my visual curation.
Okay.
Because I'll have like a Halloween theme, and different artists that I know from this art community, you feel me? I'll pick different ones that fit the theme, and that's kind of my canvas to paint on.
How would artists contact you? Like for any of our viewers, how would they contact you to
very easy.
feature in your shows?
So we have the Body of Art page on Instagram. It's just at Body of Arts. If you hit us up on a DM through there, we're pretty good about responding. Or you can email us directly at bodyofarts@gmail.com, and we'll get a response to you very fast. But we're very adamant about working with everyone, so don't be shy at all.
Anyone looking to be featured on our show, you heard it here first. Body of Arts. Why not?